Welcome back to my next video. This video will be on portal tech, and it shouldn't be super long in terms of I shouldn't need two parts unless I just leave stuff out by accident. And yeah, so I only should need to give a few examples because a lot of the tech in this video can be widely generalized and applied to many guns, but I'll only give an example using two guns. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So I just want to start with a few basic facts about the portal. So you will only be able to travel through portals if it's connected to another portal. So you see how the arrow is pointed to this portal right here. So I just wanted to go over how portals connect. So you see how even though these portals are on different levels, the upper block of this portal still is on the same level as the lower block of this portal, which means these portals will still connect. And so you can see here. But for example, these two portals don't share the same blocks at all. So they won't teleport me or do anything, which is neat. And also, one weird thing I found when I was just setting this up is that if you go through the lower block of this portal, because it will put you in the lower block of this one, because even though they're on technically different heights, they still connect the exact same way. Where like if I jump through the top of this one, it's going to take me through the top of the other one. So if my feet go in the floor of this one, if I just walk straight, my feet will be in the floor, and because my feet will be in the floor, it will ignore the block collision under the portal, which will send me down through the floor. And you can use this in custom maps and stuff, but there's no actual vanilla maps that use this at all, because it would kind of break it. And PS, you can also do a buffer jump, so even though you're already falling through the floor, as long as you jump within like 7 frames. It's just the same coyote frames. So you can technically jump out of the floor and stuff. So for example here, because you see this portal connects directly to this portal, but this portal is not connected to anything, I can walk through it, I can shoot through it, or actually, if I shoot, the bullet will still disappear, but the bullet won't go anywhere because the portal actually doesn't connect to anything. So you see, for example, like let's say I walk to the outside of this portal, it's going to connect to the outside of the portal it's facing, so it will connect to the outside of this one. But if I walk through the inside, it's going to connect to the inside. And the same thing for if I shoot, you see how the bullets come through the other way, and here if I shoot, the bullet will come through the inside of this portal. And if I shoot through this portal, it's going to go, I don't know if you can see that because of the clouds, but it will come out this way, and vice versa. But yeah, it's pretty common sense, so yeah. But as you saw with the pistol, bullets will go through portals and like go through the other side, where like they travel the exact same path as a normal duck. But you see how the sniper laser doesn't actually show where it will go through the portals, but the bullets do. And you see, you think that normally a sniper laser or a sniper bullet will go on forever, but actually that's not the case, because you can see here how the bullet will eventually run out, and it only goes a certain number of tiles. And this is true for basically every gun. There might be one or two exceptions, but it will never travel infinitely. There's always some limit. So before I get into the more complicated tech, I wanted to mention something that I noticed just while making this video, is that if you do a ragdoll into the corner of a portal, like the bottom corner of a portal, I actually haven't tested the top corner of a portal, but it seems to work best with the bottom corner, where if you just do a single ragdoll, and then in this case I'm spamming the direction, I'm spamming right, you get an insane amount of acceleration. And I wouldn't say it's super useful in terms of looping, because there's no actual vanilla portals that are this close together and you can like loop back and forth like this to gain a bunch of speed. But it's just really interesting that it just does give you a really big burst of speed, like you can see here. So it could just be useful if you're trying to escape. Instead of trying to do like a rag dash or something like that, you can just do a ragdoll in the corner of a portal, or like a rag dash in the corner of a portal, and it might send you kind of farther. But like, as long as you're not going to fall off the edge, it could be a decent escape strategy, because it will send you much faster than anyone just walking. So another thing I want to mention is how angles will save through portals. So like you see how when I angle through, the angle will save, and so assuming I do an angle, but you see how I'm able to angle the ground where the duck is? Okay, so the first major portal tech I want to talk about is shooting through portals. So you see here how the barrel of the gun is longer than the portal. So I'm able to just, because the barrel is where the tip of the barrel is where the bullets come out, because the barrel is like overreaches the portal and stretches past it, I'm able to just completely ignore the portal and fire past it. And this is incredibly useful because with longer barrel guns like a shotgun or a sniper, you're able to just shoot through the portal, and the people on the other side, it's sort of like a wall shot where you just have a one-way shot into to the person, and if the person's here, if they shoot back, they'll just kill themselves or they won't be able to hit you. So this is very powerful. And even though it doesn't look like it, you're actually still able to shoot through with the pistol because the barrel is just long enough where you can just shoot through. And it also works as if you just walk up and shoot, which will also be able to portal clip you, but I'll talk about that more later. And with like something like the snubby pistol, which is not quite long enough to shoot through no matter how close you get, you just have to be careful because I was just testing this, and I was able to just kill myself pretty consistently if you shoot right as you go through the portal. But yeah, just like that. And it's, so I wouldn't try shooting through portals with certain guns that aren't long enough because you can just kill yourself like that. So there's actually even cooler tech where normally if you just want to shoot through, you'd have to put your barrel through. But if you're on the right side of the portal, like right here or right here, you're able to just, if you put any part of your barrel inside the portal, you're able to just shoot through the other side. Like not shoot straight through, but shoot through this side. So like for example, if I put my barrel partly in the portal, I'm able to shoot through the wrong side of the portal, which is really useful, especially on certain maps, because I can just put my barrel in like a little bit of the way. It's very easy to do. There's a ton of room, ton of wiggle room, and it's very useful. But for some reason it doesn't work on the left side. So like if I do it here, it will just shoot through the right way. And this is definitely a bug, but I'm not sure why this happens. But it's probably something with the code. So the next useful portal tech I want to talk about is you're able to pick stuff up from the other side of a portal. So like let's say I dropped it inside the portal. I'm able to just pick it up because my grab radius, it's not affected by, like the portal is not considered a wall. So I'm able to just straight pick it up from the other side of the portal. So if someone drops a gun like close, you're able to just grab it and then shoot someone like that. And that's very useful to know. And also, paired with this, is you're able to drop stuff on the other side of portals. So if you do a flutter drop, just like that, it drops it on the other side of the portal. And I mean, yes, of course, you can still grab it here. But this is pretty cool because it's mainly not useful for guns unless you want to like drop your teammate a gun or something. But the main use for it is grenades. So like let's say for example I flutter here, it will explode on the other side, which is very useful because you can just drop a bomb. Just like that. And also with dropping grenades, you just have to be careful because it's the same thing where if you're on the right side of the portal and the item is slightly inside, then it will explode out the wrong side of the portal. So like let's say for example I drop it here like this, it's going to explode out this side. You saw how it exploded out this side because it's partly inside the portal on the right side. But if I do it on this side, for example, it won't hurt me here. So that's just something you have to be careful about. So the grenade thing is quite useful. It's specifically on this map. Like of course it's going to be hard to kill someone with this regardless. But like what you can do here is you see if I flutter, it puts the grenade here. And the nice thing is you can actually just throw. If you throw something while you're fluttering next to a portal, and it's easiest if there's no ceiling right next to you, you're able to just get the grenade. So which is pretty cool. So what I can just do, for example, right here is if I flutter and then do a throw, I can throw the grenade through the wrong side of the portal. So you actually are able to shoot through the very top of a portal. It might depend on the block type. So like some block types might be lower. But like, for example, if you get the timing right at least, you are able to shoot through the gap between the top, just like that. And I would say, like, of course, this is not very useful, and I've done this accidentally once and killed someone like that. But Yeah, just like that. I mean, I guess you could get pretty consistent at it, to be honest. But it's hard with guns like the pistol, where you just have to rely on the luck that the bullet goes upwards, that the bullet curves upwards, versus something like the Magnum, where the bullet is straight. So it's just like shooting, it's just like a door shot, like a pyramid door shot. It's probably a little more precise though. But yeah, the timing is probably generally the same. So I'm going to start getting to the more advanced portal tech. So I showed this one in my Netgun Part 2 video, but if you haven't seen that, the basic principle is if you net yourself, you're able to just clip through a portal, or not if you net yourself, but if you get netted, you're able to just walk through a portal. So like, for example, if I were to net myself and then go through a portal, and the second I go through the portal like this, you want to stop moving and move the other way. So like try to get back through, but it will just actually let you go straight through. And if you are close enough to a portal, you can just wiggle your way right through. And so this actually applies with some other things, like RC cars. So for example, with RC cars, you can just wiggle them through the portal. So the second they go through the portal, you want to immediately stop moving and then move them the other direction. And sometimes they need a little wiggles, like sometimes it doesn't work immediately. It's more consistent with the net gun. So sometimes you need to work it a little bit, just like that, and like keep moving them back and forth a little bit. But yeah, this is quite useful in the Space 11 map that I showed before with the grenade launcher, because you can kind of like cheese the RC car through portals and stuff to chase people that might have escaped. Into the advanced portal tech, I'm now going to teach you guys how to portal clip. And this is pretty easy once you get good at it. It's just purely consistency. And there's like several methods that I use to make it like very much more consistent. So there's the first way. This is just like you can use an easy lineup basically. So if like there's no ceiling next to the portal and you can just slide up to like a wall like this, if you just double ragdoll, depending on how thin the wall is, you can just clip through like that. You just make sure to double ragdoll. Single ragdolling will work. And the main difference that I'm going to say between double ragdolling and single ragdolling, both will work for the portal clips. But one, you kind of always want to double ragdoll because it will clip you through unragdolled. So if you just do a single ragdoll, you'll just clip through like this. But if you do double ragdoll, then you'll clip through unragdolled. But there's several scenarios where you wouldn't clip through unragdolled. So, and I'll go over those in a little bit. But the main principle behind portal clipping is if you slide, you have to be in a slide or crouching. And if you're sliding, and right as you would go through the portal, if you just ragdoll instead, the timing's pretty tight, then it will just clip you through like that. And so something that I do is instead of sliding full speed and then trying to time it, which is much harder, just like trying to do this, what you can do is you can slide and let the slide slow you down. So you can slide like farther away, and then you have much more time to time it. You see something like this? And if I wasn't bad, it would be much easier. See something like that where I slow down a lot, and then it gives me a lot of time to clip because I'm not moving very fast, but I'm still in a slide. So theoretically, you can still do something like this, but it's a little harder because you have to be precise and not just immediately go through the portal. If you're still rusty at portal clipping, it's fine to do this, but it's not incredibly consistent. It's like every 50% of the time, but yeah, it's fine. It's probably faster than failing a few times at the normal portal clip. So yeah. So I was just experimenting with portal clips, and I just found this really cool portal clip that's super easy and I've gotten 100% of the time. And it's super consistent. So if you, unfortunately there just has to be no ceiling, which is not super common, but it definitely does exist. So instead of doing this setup where you go like this, and it has like a 50% success rate, and it mainly works, I've noticed it just mainly works facing this way, and it only really sometimes works facing this way. What's even easier is if you just slide down and just ragdoll near the top of the portal, like you have to be overlapping, you clip like 100% of the time, which is pretty nice. From what I've seen, just like that. And I haven't tested the other direction, but it works. It seems to work both ways, and it seems super consistent. So yeah. That's just like a cool little useful portal clip. And I can show some examples on screen, but there is a small chance if you just stand right next to the portal and double ragdoll that you can just clip through. And I've done this before. It's not super difficult. It just kind of takes a while because it's just purely luck. So I mean, I guess you can try this, but there's really no point when you can just do the easier, and I mean, technically it's not easier, but like a more consistent, way more consistent method, because this is very not consistent at all. So here's some weird bugs I found if you get this portal set up. So because it forces me out of the portal, epilepsy warning, because it doesn't want me getting put into a wall. But it's really weird because, I mean, if you do a normal portal clip, like for example, if you do a normal portal clip here, you'll just clip through the wall, just like this, which is quite useful. And what you can do is you can buffer a jump right as you clip through. And if you just jump right as you press clip, right as you press the double ragdoll, you can do this. And like, for example, there's a map, it's like the quad laser map with the grenades. And during the 8-player version, if you were at the 8-player version, you can't clip out of the map normally. So you have to do one of these where like this, let's say I'm standing on the void right now. So I'd have to do a clip, and then do a buffer jump to be able to get out of the map and live. And it's not that hard to do once you practice a little bit. It's pretty consistent. There's this weird thing where I fell out of the bottom of the map while testing this. And I don't know why. And I also got like a massive rag dash. Oh yeah, but I just want to say also, if you do a single ragdoll here, you'll just get stuck into the wall. Which is interesting. And so then you can just do a ragdoll jump from there and you'll be fine. But the original thing I wanted to say is if there's no ground below you, so for example, if there has to be a wall behind the portal like this, or a floor behind the portal like this, for you to double ragdoll and exit the portal unragdolled. So for example here, if there's no ground at all, I'm unable to do a double ragdoll and exit the portal unragdolled, no matter what I do. The interesting thing is actually it aligns your segments, so I'm wondering if you could just do like a crazy rag dash based on this. Although you don't have a lot of height, you don't have a lot of speed, so maybe it wouldn't be crazy. So you're able to, as you saw earlier, do a portal clip without a ragdoll. You just need to rely on gun knockback. And so this is pretty interesting, where you can, if you just shoot through a portal and walk through at the same time, it can give you the right amount of knockback to push you through. It's like when you fire the gun, and it will clip you. And it's not super difficult to do. But yeah, I mean, just walk forward as your barrel's sticking through, and that actually works really well. You just want to be careful, because it is possible to kill yourself, because as you shoot through the portal and you can clip into your own bullet. And I'd say the greatest concern is on this side, because if you're on the right side of portal and you put your barrel into the portal and shoot, you will shoot in like the wrong way. And so if you walk into it at this and you shoot in the inside, you can kill yourself. So it is a bit of a concern, but it doesn't happen super often. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to slide, but I don't know if that actually does anything. But yeah, as you see, if you also miss, you can kill yourself. But yeah, just be careful doing it this way, because it's a little more dangerous, but it can be faster. And you get to keep your gun. One thing that is useful, however, is if you do a portal knockback clip, but you do it where there's a wall behind you. So now people basically can't shoot you, and you could just freely shoot. However, there is a few downsides, because they actually can kind of shoot you. Like, of course, as long as you have ammo, people are never going to be able to portal shoot you through this direction, because you can always shoot them first. But if they do have a piercing gun, like a death laser or quad laser bullet, then they can kill you, of course. And there is one more thing that they can do to kill you. So I just want to mention also that, like, if you're like even this far out of the portal, you can still walk back in and the portal just won't work, which is very nice. But there is some threat of you being here, because if people just shoot inside, they can actually somehow still hit you. And I'm not sure exactly why this works, but I think it still does. And they can also Like, of course, you can just shoot through here and get inside, but you can also shoot through the other side and get in the same spot, just like you saw. But yeah, it's not a safe spot at all. It can be good if they don't really know what to do and if the player doesn't really know what to do. And the nice thing is you can always just walk out of the portal and just shoot them if they're like hiding right above you. Like you can go walk out and shoot them like up above or something like that. But then again, it's like, it does work if the player doesn't know what to do against you. So the next clip I'm going to talk about is pretty interesting because it doesn't require a ragdoll. And it's a portal clip. It's called the Portal Uncrouch Clip. And so how it works is you basically just want to either slide jump into the portal and then uncrouch right as you go through, right before you go through, and then turn around. And so it only works in very few places. So the first requirement is there can't be a ceiling on the side you're clipping. So like for example right here, there's a ceiling. There's no ceiling, because there has to be room for you to be able to stand up, like about right here. And I can show like how it looks in slow-mo and explain why it happens. The one thing I'm not sure about is why it doesn't work on certain spots. It doesn't work here for some reason, and it's been tested and it doesn't work, but it works here. And there's only like one other map where it really works. But I mean, it's mainly just cool. Like it's pretty consistent because if you get good at it, it's consistent. Because of the fact that there's no ragdolls, so there's no ragdoll randomness. It's just your own timing. What I like to do in terms of the inputs is I like to do a slide, and then right before I would go through, I release slide and hold the other direction. So I would hold left and slide jump, and then release slide and jump and hold right. And it looks sort of something like this. If you don't get it, like you would just be going like this a little bit, because you want to release slide and you want to uncrouch right before you would go through the portal. It only really works in this one. As far as I'm aware, it only works in this one. It works right here, I'm pretty sure. And then there's another map where it works. The other map where it works is right here, and it works on both sides of this. So the next clip I want to talk about is called the Portal Clip Boost, or that's what I call it at least. And so how it works is you want to do a portal clip, but instead you want to jump and ragdoll. I mean, you always want to ragdoll, but you want to do a jump. So you can get different levels of these. Like it will basically, the idea is it's sort of like that where it sends you out of the portal pretty fast. And I used to not be super good at these, but I think I'm not exactly sure what makes the timing, like what timing makes you go out faster or slower. But the one thing I noticed just from watching my replay of the clip, oh, see that one was really fast. And just like imagine if this wall wasn't here, it would be much better. So what I do, and what I think I was mistaking before, or doing as a mistake before, is you want to release jump. So you want to jump and then release jump and then ragdoll. So I think what I was doing before that might be a mistake that other people would do, is you're just holding jump, or you're pressing jump right as you clip. But what you actually just want to do is you just want to tap jump and then ragdoll. And I can show a slow-mo of it. And in terms of portal clip boosting, if there are no walls or anything, I can just show you how fast you can go. Just like that. Okay, so that's going to be all the tech I'm going to talk about in this video. And yeah, if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, or any suggestions for something you'd like to see. And also, please share this video with anyone who might be interested. I hope you enjoyed the video. My next video will probably be on camping guns by popular demand of one person. And then after that, I'll probably keep doing more weapon tech videos unless I think of something else that I really want to do. But yeah, hope you enjoy the next one. Keep on duck gaming. Peace.